Hello, everybody. Okay, I'm going to give something weird a try. I've never done this before, where I've actually played a video that has no um, uh, sound or talking in it. Sorry, I'm going to make sure that doesn't happen. Yeah, there we go. Um, and so I'm going to talk while this plays, and hopefully you will receive this and it will make sense. We are looking at Waldorf education in terms of how it's taught. Specifically, math is taught in first grade. The reason I'm showing you these first grade math lessons is because many of you are in school situations where you're introducing a lot of these concepts very early in the child's life. And, we all know that's a problem. However, one of the things that Waldorf offers us, and I have trained a lot of public school teachers to do this over the years, not just here in Louisville, but around the country, is that they find that using this methodology is really beneficial because they are introducing things so much earlier than we really ought to be. So, I want to introduce you to a few ideas using this video. So I'm going to go ahead and click play. And okay, so she's going to show you a main lesson book. Okay, I'm going to stop here because a main lesson book is drawn and done completely by the child. So everything you're about to see a child did with a Waldorf school teacher. And I have that training in my background. That's one of my master's degrees. And I've taken two groups of children through grades 1 to 8. And so I've taught this many, many times and trained many teachers to do it. So what you're looking at is what a child did. And this is a first grader. And the way numbers are approached initially is that you introduce numeracy, numbers, which are part of math. By now, I'm hoping you understand math is a process, it's a way of thinking. It includes problem solving of all types, not just, number problems, but that numbers are the language of math. They're the way we tell a story about something that happened using numbers. So that's the concept that's introduced to children. And when you introduce the number 1, you teach them that there's only one of you. And it's a really powerful lesson. It has a great story with it and all of that. But the idea that you teach a number based on how it exists and shows up in the world. What is there only one of? Well, the easiest answer is you, the child. So that's number 1. And you'll see number 2 comes up next. She's going to flip the page. So what she chose was a pair of trees. And you notice there's a Roman numeral drawn on these pages because in Waldorf schools, kids learn Roman numerals and, the numbers that we're all accustomed to. So something interesting about Waldorf schools. That's all. You don't need to think about Roman numerals. But you notice also that the child is learning to spell the word. So the number has a number symbol, and it also has a word, TWOONE. This teacher chose 2 trees. You could choose 2 of anything that there are pairs of. There's all kinds of things out there you could come up with. It's up to you. So I'm going to go ahead and play on, and you'll see number 3. She's going to turn the page. Okay, so number 3, I never have been able to figure out what she had them draw. But you can see, again, the number in the word 4. She had them do a family. I personally would not use this family, to be honest with you. This is like your stereotypical family. I'm thinking that because this is a homeschooling class teacher, that maybe there are that many people, 2 adults and 2 children in their family. I wouldn't use family because I didn't use family for the number 4 because I didn't know how many people were in the family. I can't remember what I used. I could look it up if anybody wants to know. Just ask me and I'll go pull down one of my books. Okay, so let's look at 5. She did the 5-pointed star, which I would recommend you do. And remember, I had you do that star drawing with the yarn. So this is perfect for you to do that. And so this is how these main lesson books, now there's a 6-pointed star and so on. I'm going to fast forward a little bit because so she got 8 for the octopus, 9, 10, and then she is looking at 12 as a clock, which of course we don't see many of those clocks anymore. So that's interesting. And then I want you to notice how they practice writing their numbers. And there's a little star in between each one. And these vertical lines across here are drawn with special crayons that create lines that help them know top to bottom and when they're first learning to write their letters and their numbers. So I thought I would just point that out to you. The star is put there so that they learn spacing between things. It's a very effective tool, especially for kids who are just learning. I used it a lot with my students who needed remediation work when I was seeing clients and families with children who were struggling in school. So I recommend that very highly. So let's fast forward a little bit and I want to show you. So this is how Waldorf school kiddos learn to write out what's called a number story. So you notice how they have dot plus dot equals 2 dots. So they would have heard a story about somebody gathering acorns or rocks or apples or whatever. And then afterwards, the teacher would show them how to write the number story. So they would have already learned a lot about how you write the story if you're going to tell it using the alphabet. But now you're going to tell the story using numbers. So this is the language of math here. And it's how Waldorf children are introduced to the idea that math is also a story and a language. And they will eventually get to this. And in Waldorf schools, they do all 4 operations. They learn them in first grade right off the bat. So you'll notice that they have problems with all the operations in them. So that's what I wanted to show you. Nothing too different in many ways than what you've seen maybe in teaching older kids math, but these methodologies are so unique. They can really be applied to younger children. Of course, I don't recommend teaching all the operations to young children, not at all. But I thought it might be interesting for you to see that. So if we go back, we can see, oh, the 7 is the rainbow. I always loved that. I'm glad we landed on that. So I hope this is helpful to you. It's really beautiful when children can learn and use crayons to draw these things instead of worksheets. And they usually resonate quite deeply with children. And I love the one that, there's only one of you, and that's how you introduce the concept of one of something. So I hope this is interesting and helpful, and you can comment on it in your reflections.